they're looking to speed up. I think if
Yeah.
they could get this figured out a little bit, I believe that they're going to certainly get a lot more viewers. I believe that.
Yeah, and I know some fans are. Since we are going to talk, I said let's talk about the rules real quick of what we're talking about. What you just mentioned, the three, basically kind of like the 3 pitching rule almost. And I'm actually liking the idea of a DH in the NL Central. A couple people. Well, not a couple people. There's a lot of people that disagree with this, and then I have people that are agreeing with it. And this is my case for DH in the NL Central. If you're a pitcher,
I'm going to let you get along with that thought, but they have to figure something out because ever since they went to interleague play, it's created a complete 3-headed monster.
Exactly.
Right or wrong?
You're right, and it's between that.
It gave a lot of people a third eye. It gave them that impression. So they brought something else, a new dynamic, a new dimension to the game of baseball, which is great, beautiful. Everybody wanted it. They got what they wanted. Well, now they create another problem on top of another problem. So, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I think that they should actually, I'm all for them having the DH because a lot of pitchers, if you are a great pitcher in high school nowadays, they're stopping you from batting. They're not teaching you or they're not continuing your batting career. They're now basically having you just focusing on pitching.
Well,
batting
I
is
can tell you the people that don't want the DH. The pitchers, the National League pitchers don't want to see it. How much success does these American League pitchers, or rather, excuse me, how much success does National League pitchers, and they wind up signing big deals in the American League, and just because of the DH, you watch their numbers drop. Yeah. Some of these teams are stacked, their lineups, 1 through 9.
Yeah, like our team.
There's a lot of thought process that's going to go into this. Nothing's going to happen right away. I've been involved in a lot of discussions
it won't take effect till 2020, 2021 if it does happen. But, we have a guy ready. Like, if it was to go in effect this season, Cardinals have Jose Martinez that we don't know what they're actually going to do with him, but he would be a great DH man because his defense is not that great. But they can't bench.
Yadier Molina down the road. Listen, when you look at these players, impact at DHs, I'm talking about some of the biggest DHs. We just had a Hall of Fame inductees. Yeah. Edgar Martinez's name was brought up several times. To me, probably the best DH in baseball. Numbers don't lie. Exactly. So the DH plays such an important part, and it's fair. It's fair to both sides. Both teams are able to use this to their advantage. Now, if they don't opt to put a good DH in that position, that's entirely on them. You could play with it. You could start playing with your lineup. It's more strategic. These teams need to embrace it. They need to when they have the owners' meetings. This is something that they really need to push. They need to put their foot on the gas. I really believe having the DH. I mean, David Ortiz, Big Papi.
Oh my
God.
God.
He can't play first base.
Yeah.
He was a big reason for the success of the Boston Red Sox. And then we talked about earlier in your show about how, these organizations, you had mentioned whether it was players that are upset or they're not happy with the organization or they're trying to find their own. Well, how about putting them in a DH role, keeping them off the field? Guys like, they should be able to do that. And the reason why they need to be able to do that, LaDonna, is because some of them are still in big year contracts. Yep. Alex Rodriguez.
Yes. Albert Pujols.
He's a great example. He signed a big deal. A lot of these players and these greedy agents, they're getting what they can get, not for short term, but over the longevity, because they know the shelf life's going to run out. They already are going into this. The team already knows they're going into this. On the back end of 3 or 4 years, they're going to be getting paid somewhere from $15 to $20 million, if not more, with incentives. So what are you going to do? Jacoby Ellsbury. How many times did the Yankees flirted and play with? No one's going to pick up that contract. He can't play the field. He can't chase down a fly ball. This is somebody that used to be one of the best center fielders in all of baseball.
Like Albert.
A couple of years. He goes to the Yankees. He can't do anything. I believe he's still as good in the 5-6 spot in a critical moment. You plug him in the DH, and you allow him to make contact. He's a contact hitter. He's not going to put the ball out of the park. But what are you going to do with these players that you said are still owed big money? You're going to put them in the DH spot.
Yep.
It may not be on an everyday basis. So they got to get this right. And I think it allows a team to allow players that are in the big year contract, especially down the road, to still contribute. And not to mention, players are getting hurt more and more now with Don.
Yeah.
We see it. We saw it in the National League Central. I can go down a long list.
Oh, everybody was hurt.
We know this. This is nobody's debating that. So what do? You play with the DH, and it keeps your team as a contender. It doesn't drop your team out of contention. And without a DH, more often than not, DH is very important. I have to agree with you. I'm so happy you touched on that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like I said, a lot of fans I noticed were just not happy. But you have to just look at the aspect of the game. It's changing. Everybody, I've seen some people just really upset. Like, don't change the game. Stop changing the game. Well, everything changes over time. But for the most part, baseball's still the same. They are changing just a little bit.
Baseball will always be the 3 outs.
Yeah,
it'll always be the 9.
Exactly.
The baseball, it's there. This is not just about. I know we're covering this. This is about all the major sports.
Yes.
Well, they're having problems. The NBA is certainly having their own problems right now. We won't get into that. Certainly the NFL. I've touched on it. This is what we do at ProPix. We cover all this stuff, and you look at the NFL, they've had nothing but problems with the new overtime rules. They thought they were doing something better. They weren't. So it's in every major sport. I think of all the sports, baseball, believe it or not, is in a better position than other major sports. So I'm happy. I'm thrilled. I think that it'll be a slow transition, but I think they'll get it right. And for now, we're just going to take it for what it is and just enjoy the 162 games, LaDonna. And I think you agree with me.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing I would ask, the only change I would ask for is a shorter season. It's, I would ask for, about 100 and...
That's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. I know it's never going to happen.
Rich,
yep.
But the owners...
of course.
It's the owners, and the only way they can do that is by filling the stands, and that's contagious when teams are winning.
Yeah.
So you could go back, touch on other sports. At the NBA, they opened up a 5-game playoff opening round series. It's always everything's 7 now. It seems so long. They got the 82 regular, year games on the schedule, and it seems like forever. And the same thing with baseball. Well, you know what?
It goes by so quickly.
It's a dollar. Everybody wants to fill their pockets, and who's paying for that, LaDonna? Who's paying for it? We are. Whether I'm out at a game for business, or you're out for business, or you want to take, like you had mentioned earlier, your husband. It's all about the revenue. Yep. So they're not going to shorten.
Oh, I know they're not going to shorten it. I know they're not going to, but that'll be the only thing if anybody asked me to do any, what's the one thing I would probably ask for? That would probably be the one thing I would probably ask for. Can we change it to 100, 120 games? It's still 100, game season.
They'll do that for you. Matter of fact, I want you to send an email. Send it to the commissioner. Now, but it's funny. They do that. They're just going to extend the length. They're going to add more playoff teams, and the playoffs will be longer. That's what will end up happening. More likely than not. So
yes,
I agree with you. Why not shorten it up? Shorten it up, tighten it up.
Just a little bit.
How about the speculations about games going from 9 innings to 7? The shorten the games. Are you silly?
No. I would never want that.
You get a lot of callers, I'm sure. You haven't taken any today, but more often than not, when I'm on set with 98.5, whoever it is that I'm on air with, it's funny. We get some real far reach for changes in baseball that are never going to happen. So we put our foot on the brakes and we run with it. But something that you mentioned, the 120 game season, that's realistic. Yeah, I like it. But the owners aren't going to do it.
Of course they're not.
They're wealthy for